Have you ever felt that just when everything seemed to finally calm down? When the storm passed, the walls were rebuilt, and peace started to arrive. Someone shows up trying to drag you back into chaos, as if the universe were testing your very last drop of energy. As if the moment you think, "Now I can finally breathe," voices appear, demanding more from you, more than you can give, more than you should give. But why? Why is it that, just when you're about to reap what you sowed, someone demands you rip your own roots out? This video is a warning, a reminder you might have needed to hear for a long time. There are requests no one should ever make of you, and if they do, perhaps what's at risk isn't just your patience, but your soul. So before you say yes again, before you open yet another door, extend one more hand. Pause. Watch until the end. Because understanding this message could be the turning point between continuing to betray yourself or finally setting yourself free. And if you've felt this in your bones, if some part of you is tired of carrying the world, then you're in the right place. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Because every week we bring content to remind you of what truly matters. You. We're not born to sacrifice yourself for those who can't even see you. How many times have you said yes, when deep down you meant no? How many times did you swallow your tears, just to avoid disappointing someone? At first it feels small. It's just a favor. It's just for today. You're so strong. But what begins as a gesture of kindness becomes a weight on your back, a burden that's not even yours. Can you feel it? That exhaustion you can't explain? That irritation? But you don't know who you're really mad at? Maybe it's because you're living someone else's pain, carrying the cross of a story that isn't even yours. But what if I told you that this isn't strength? What if it's just a disguised form of self-abandonment? Who convinced you that love means enduring everything in silence? That being good means accepting what hurts you? Because here's a truth few dare to say. Love is not abuse disguised as help. You weren't born to be anyone's pillar. You don't need to drown just so someone else learns to swim. And if they insist on pulling you under, maybe it's time to get out of the boat. But the question remains, how much more pain will you carry before realizing none of it is yours? Have you ever gotten that unexpected call? Soft voice, urgent tone, and deep down, you already knew. A request is coming. It's just a loan. I promise I'll pay you back soon. And your heart clenches, because you know how hard you worked for every cent. The sleepless nights, the no's you swallowed, the dreams you postponed, all of it, just to now feel like saying no would make you seem selfish. But would it? Since when did protecting what you built become a reason for guilt? Who taught you that saying yes is the only way to love? Because what starts as one request rarely ends there. Another comes, then another, and when you realize, it wasn't just the money that left, it was your peace, your trust, your stability. What looks like generosity can turn into a hole in your soul. So, here's the real question. How many more times will you sacrifice your security to save someone who refuses to learn how to swim? How long will you keep being everyone's emotional and financial vault? You have the right to protect what's yours. And saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you someone who finally understood the value of your own peace. So, next time the phone rings, before you pick it up, ask yourself, what's really at stake here? The money or my soul? Have you ever found yourself caught in the middle of a mess that wasn't even yours? A divided family, an inheritance dispute, siblings at war, and suddenly they all look to you, as if it's your duty to fix what you never broke. You're the reasonable one. You have to resolve this. If not you, then who? But let me ask you, How long will they keep using you as a shield, just because you have a heart? How many times have you been thrown into the crossfire, believing you could save everyone? And the worst part? When you try to help, you end up getting blamed by both sides. You become the villain in a story you never wrote. Being the peacemaker in someone else's war only puts you in the line of fire. You don't have to extinguish fires you didn't start. You're not the judge of other people's pain. And no matter how much you long for peace, there is no peace where no one's willing to change. You know what's most cruel? When they make you feel responsible for a healing they don't even want. So think about this. Are you trying to save relationships that only exist because you're the one holding the bridge together? You can love and still walk away from the fight. You can long for unity and still choose not to be the sacrificial link. True maturity isn't about keeping everyone together at any cost. It's about realizing that some wars only end when you choose not to take part. Are you still wearing that? Your way of doing things is so outdated. You really need to change. Have you heard things like that? Maybe from a friend, maybe from a family member, or worse, from someone who claimed to love you. But tell me, since when did being yourself become a problem that needs fixing? At what point did the world decide that your essence needed editing? Your voice, your style, your way of loving, laughing, existing, just because they don't fit into someone else's expectations? It starts subtly. You change an outfit, lower your tone, suppress your joy, and suddenly, you no longer recognize the woman or man in the mirror. Those who try to erase your essence don't want you to evolve. They want you to disappear. But let me tell you a secret. You don't need to fit in. You're not a box. You're a universe. And what's true in you wasn't made to please. It was made to pulse. So ask yourself, how many parts of yourself have you cut off just to be accepted? How many versions of you have you swallowed just to not bother anyone? But what if what makes you different is exactly what makes you necessary in this world? Don't edit yourself to fit. Those who truly see you don't want a molded copy. They want your whole soul. If you love me, do this for me. You'll hurt me if you say no. You've changed. Have you noticed how some phrases carry invisible blackmail? They don't scream, but they trap you. They don't ask, they demand. And they demand that you betray yourself in the name of love. But what about your feelings? Who takes care of them? Have you ever given in just to avoid drama? Pretended to be okay just so you wouldn't disappoint someone? Little by little, you silence your desires, ignore your limits, erase your dreams, all in the name of peace. But peace? For whom? If love requires you to disappear, it's not love. It's a prison. True love doesn't ask you to vanish so someone else can feel whole. It doesn't put you on a pedestal just to control you. It doesn't turn love into debt. So the question is, how many more times will you abandon yourself just to avoid being abandoned? You have the right to exist fully, with desires, with choices, with boundaries. To love is not to shrink, it's to include yourself. And if someone demands your self-erasure to feel loved, maybe what they want isn't love, but obedience. It's not the right time. Just wait a little longer. You can do it later. How many times have you heard that? And how many times did you believe it? Believe that the right time would come, just not now. But let me ask you, who defines that later? And what if that later never comes? It's subtle. First, you postpone a course, then that trip. Later, the dream to start a business, to change, to begin again. And all because someone, out of fear or convenience, convinced you that your time could wait. But can it really? You paused your dreams out of loyalty. But who was loyal to you? Life has no replay button, and what you leave for later often gets lost in never. How many of your projects are sitting in a drawer called someday? How many of your versions are asleep, waiting for permission to live? The truth is simple and painful. You don't need anyone's permission to be happy. And those who truly love you don't delay you. They push you forward, so think carefully. Who are the people asking you to wait, but never wait for you? The truth? You've carried too much. You've given in, delayed, stayed silent, for bonds that demanded everything and gave back so little. But now, maybe it's time to come back to yourself, to understand that peace is not a luxury, it's a priority, and that any relationship, request, or promise that costs you your soul is far too expensive. You're not here to be a shield, nor a stepping stone, nor a stage for someone else's plans. You're here to live your truth, to choose yourself with courage, to protect what you've built, even if it annoys those who got used to your sacrifice. So, take a deep breath and say to yourself, now, it's about me. And if this video touched your heart, like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs the strength to say their next no. Oh, and don't leave just yet, because the next video might be exactly what your soul has been waiting to hear. See you there.